At first, she doesn't notice. Your silence feels like space she wanted. But slowly at 2 a.m., when distractions fade, she begins to feel it. Not your absence, but your peace, your lack of reaction. And that ... changes everything. A woman will do this when you stop talking to her. Rewritten part 1 when you stop talking to her not out of anger, but from clarity. She starts hearing the echo of your calm. She expects frustration, maybe begging. But when you respond with stillness, instead of noise, it unsettles her. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Your reaction or lack of it is what stings most. At first she thinks you're playing a game. When she realizes you've detached with grace not, bitterness, confusion creeps in. Your silence isn't punishment. It's reflection. You chose not to chase, not because you didn't care, but because you respect yourself enough not to beg. That's where her curiosity grows. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. That strength is what she sees in your distance. You didn't walk away to hurt her. You walked away to protect your peace. In doing so, you reminded her of something rare. A man who values himself even when he's not being valued. She begins to notice your absence in subtle moments. The lack of notifications, the quiet timeline, the steady energy you left behind. It's not noise that lingers, its presence. You became unforgettable by becoming unavailable. Now, while she wonders why you're silent, you're outgrowing the version of yourself that once needed her validation. This is the art of Stoic detachment, not coldness, but inner discipline. It's not about making her miss you. It's about not needing her to remember you at all. And yet she does. She checks your last message again, maybe to reread your words, or maybe to see if she missed something. But the truth is, what she misses isn't the text, it's the energy you once brought. Steady presence. The unwavering calm. Seneca wrote, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage." And you, by choosing silence over chaos, are living courageously. She begins to wonder, why didn't he chase? Why didn't he fight to explain himself? The answer is simple, because you've outgrown the need to be understood by someone who didn't care to listen in the first place. Your discipline becomes a mirror. While she expected emotional chaos, she's faced with emotional clarity. That's what unsettles her most. You've learned to value silence not as a weapon, but as a boundary. You no longer allow access to your peace unless it's earned. And now she feels the door you didn't slam, just closed. She might post more, laugh louder online, try to trigger a response, but deep down, she knows it's not working. Detachment isn't fake. It's not temporary. It's rooted in acceptance. Epictetus reminds us, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. You've embodied that freedom because you no longer try to control what she thinks, says, or does. And ironically, that's when her thoughts of you become more persistent. Not because you chased her, but because you didn't. When a man stops explaining himself and starts living in alignment with his values, it becomes unforgettable. Not loud, but deeply present. Your stillness now speaks louder than your presence ever did. As days pass, she feels the contrast more sharply. The silence she once welcomed becomes unbearable. Not because she needs your words, but because your silence forces her to sit with herself. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. You did not return disrespect. You returned peace." That is what echoes in her mind. She replays the last conversation, trying to decipher what went wrong. But what truly changed was you stopped giving access to someone who didn't value it. You didn't raise your voice, you raised your standards. She senses the shift. She can feel the space where your validation used to be. And the emptiness left behind isn't just yours, it's hers too now. This isn't a game of pride, it's a lesson in presence. A stoic man doesn't leave to prove a point. He leaves to protect his peace. You were available, kind, consistent. And when those things went unnoticed, you withdrew not to hurt, but to heal. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." You've reclaimed your power not through noise, but through restraint. While she wonders whether to reach out, whether you'll ever return, you're already building something greater yourself. The man who once explained, apologized, overextended, he no longer lives here. What remains is clarity, strength, calm, the kind of energy that doesn't chase because it's too focused on becoming. And whether she returns or not, you've already won because you didn't lose yourself to keep her. Your silence isn't absence, it's transformation. By now, she's starting to grasp what she truly lost. Not a boyfriend, not a partner, but a presence. A man who stayed grounded when she tested the waters. A man who could walk away and not look back. Seneca once said, "He who is brave is free," and that's what you became the moment you stopped clinging. You found freedom. She scrolls through old messages, maybe listens to a voice note or two. But it's not nostalgia's contrast. She realizes how rare your energy was. While others compete for attention, you mastered the power of absence. Your detachment wasn't cold. It was clear. And clarity can be uncomfortable for those who thrive on confusion. You stopped reacting. You stopped proving. And in that space, she saw a man no longer shaped by her validation, but by his own convictions. You didn't disappear. You simply stopped investing in something that yielded no return. That's not ego, it's alignment, Epictetus taught. Attach yourself to what is spiritually superior, regardless of what other people think or do. You chose to attach to peace, purpose, and self-respect. And now, while she wrestles with uncertainty, you walk with calm. Because you know what is meant for you will never need to be chased, and what doesn't see your worth was never worth the chase. She may reach out again, she may not. But none of that changes who you've become, man built on discipline, not desperation. This is the quiet power of the Stoic. You don't control her thoughts, but you've mastered your own. Time passes. She may smile in photos, stay active online, even look like she's moved on. But in quiet moments, when the noise fades, your absence lingers. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." And her thoughts now, they're stained with the calm you carried and the silence you left behind. She once saw you as always available until you weren't. She thought your patience had no end until it did. And when your words stopped coming, she began to truly listen, not to your voice, but to your value. Now she begins to understand. You weren't walking away to punish her. You were rising because staying would have meant abandoning yourself. You've become a man who doesn't just let go, he lets be. You don't beg for closure. You build clarity. You don't chase comfort. You create peace. This is what it means to live stoic, to walk with quiet strength, to detach not out of spite, but out of understanding. Seneca reminds us, no man was ever wise by chance. Your wisdom was chosen, cultivated, earned through discipline, reflection, and the courage to be alone. And while she may return, seeking the man you once were, she'll find someone stronger, someone softer, yet sharper. Present, but not desperate. She'll remember you. Not because of what you said, but because of what you didn't. Because when you stopped talking, you finally spoke the loudest.